So you did have a handful of seniors here tonight, and we got some video of that. But really, if you would, just take a moment to talk about those seniors, since it really is kind of about 4 or 5 kids. So.
Yeah, I mean, each one of these players have really put in a lot of work over the past couple years. So I'll start out with Chasen Hall, and I don't know if you were hearing the senior night information, but this is Chasen's first year here actually at Carson. He was at Rockwell Christian School up until this year, and I don't think he was actually planning on coming out on soccer, for play soccer, but his parents are kind of pushing him to do it. And we've talked and had conversations. He's like, I'm really glad I did, because not only does it help somebody new coming into school, like actually have people that they know, but man, what an athlete. He was one of these players that his number one sport is basketball. He loves basketball, but he did play soccer, but he's never played defense. And so I've kind of talked about this before. I think with our interview is sometimes like you see something in a player and it might be a position that they've never played before. And I've always thought, good offensive players make great defenders. And so I had a need because I need some speed in the back, because obviously you don't want to put slower people in the back, because their forwards from the other team are the fastest ones. So you have to have people that can keep up with them. And so I had that need for a center back, a strong presence after our center back Michi, blew some of his ligaments, and I'm not sure if it's ACL or anything like that. I can't remember. Actually, he couldn't remember to tell me what it was. So, but he's going to have surgery. So I was like, Chasen, why don't you try this spot for me? And he's just one of these kids that are just like would do anything, he wanted to get some more playing time. And he just found his home right there in the back of center back. Unfortunately, he ended up colliding with another player in the back in the first half, head to head. And so he's going to be, sitting and probably going through the concussion protocol. And we're fingers crossed he'll be back by our playoff run if we get in. I don't want to jinx it. So, but clutch leadership at times, like a strong presence, and just a heck of a player. So I'm just so thankful that he came out this year and played for us. Our captain, number 23, Diego Campuzano, just a strong presence in general. This is his second year only playing soccer. Last year was his first year, and I remember when he came out last year, everybody was raving about how great of a defender he was, because he really is. He's a good defender. He has a good reads on the ball. Unfortunately, because he's tall, which I love that he's tall, because we can get to stuff in the air, and he's bigger, a lot of times he'll get called for fouls and things like that, because if you go one-on-one with him, then he's going to obviously have the advantage. And I'm not saying he doesn't foul people, but sometimes there has been some questionable things there. But he's just a heck of a presence on and off the field. He's that leadership that I needed for this young team. Because not only does he set a good example on the field with his behavior, but he also does it off the field. And he's the one rallying them together and look, we got to focus on this, we got to focus on that. And that's what you want in a leader, on the field, especially with a young team like this. Andrew Hodges, his first year was last year as well. So all these seniors, they've only played 1 or 2 years for me, but they've just made such a big impact on the program. And Hodges is one of these kids that he's just developing kind of his soccer skills, but his work ethic is unreal. If I tell him, Hodges, I need you to go in there, I need you to get that ball, I need you to work hard, I don't have any question at all, when it enters my mind, that he's going to go out there and do everything he possibly can to be successful and do what I tell him to do. He is such a hard worker, and unfortunately, he's so quick on things. Sometimes for him, his body ends up beating the ball to challenges and stuff. But he works back and he does whatever I need him to do. And he's just he's that kid that you wish you had 100 of them, because he's going to do whatever you ask him to do, and he's going to work hard to do it. And my last one, Jose Escobar. He came out again last year. Him and Diego are good friends, and they decided, I convinced them, they're actually in my Honors American History class, and I convinced them to come out for soccer. So glad I did. Jose is such a presence on the left side. He's actually right-footed, but he can cross that ball left. And a lot of the stuff, the traffic that we have going down the line, starts with him. He's not afraid to make that sprint down the line and cross. He's got several assists on things because he is there to put that ball into play for people. And so, and then he'll work himself to get back, to help play defensively. So, when I look at a player that I say does an extremely great great job. The best job this year outside back as far as going up into the play is Jose. You know, and again, a lot of times it's these players that didn't play defense, they played offense, and they feel comfortable crossing the ball, and they feel comfortable getting an attack, and that's what you need. You know, when you're playing the 4-3-3 like I am, your outside backs are trying to move up the field and everything. So each one of these guys, Jose included, he provides that leadership, but he's more quiet, you know, in his leadership. And like when we were doing the senior night, you know, readings of like their quotes and stuff, and you kind of just see he had like one of the most mature answers out there, you know, as far as like encouraging the young players and everything. And so I'm just very thankful to have these guys. They played such a great role. You know, I mean, great role, strong role on this team, and hopefully continue to do that for a lot more games down the road than just the next couple. So, you know, with these guys, when we play our best soccer, there's not many teams that can stop us, but the key is actually playing our best soccer. That's the thing. So.
Well, 2 games left, Coach, and hopefully we'll be talking playoffs maybe next week. And if so, we'll certainly continue to have some conversations as the Cougars make their way through the playoffs, if they get there, but things are looking promising at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate anything we can do to spotlight these players. So.